Sweat pours down your face, your muscles burn, and you gasp for air as you push through a simple morning jog. Feels like absolute torture today. But 100,000 years ago, this sticky, exhausting mechanism was the most lethal weapon on Earth. You are the only primate on the planet capable of running a marathon. Our ancestors didn't conquer the food chain with sharp claws, thick armor, or terrifying fangs. We conquered it by literally running our prey to death. This is exactly why APE2 Legend exists, to uncover one ancestral secret every week. Hit subscribe and stay on the journey with us. Today, when you run out of breath on a treadmill, your brain begs you to stop. You think your body is weak, completely unfit for the wild. Your brain is wrong. Your body isn't broken or fragile. It is just remembering an ancient programming designed for a very specific, terrifying biological task. Every single time your heart pounds violently and your pores open to leak salty water, you are activating a 300,000-year-old evolutionary cheat code. Think about the African savanna. Almost every major animal out there is faster than you. A cheetah can sprint like lightning. An antelope bounds away in seconds. If you try to sprint after them, you will fail every single time. Your top speed is honestly a joke compared to the natural sprinters of the wild. But nature gave you something far more sinister than short-term speed. It gave you the terrifying ability to simply never, ever stop moving forward. When the midday sun turns the African plains into a scorching, suffocating oven, every other predator seeks the shade. They have to hide or they will die. But not you. This is the exact moment your ancestors stepped out of the shadows. You see, speed is completely useless if you can't regulate your heat. Animals covered in thick fur cannot sweat like we do. To cool down, they must stop running and pant. If they don't, their blood begins to boil. Their heavy fur traps the heat inside, suffocating their internal organs. It is a fatal biological flaw, and your ancestors learned exactly how to exploit it. To understand how you became the apex predator of the planet, you need to strip away your modern comforts and step into the ultimate ancient marathon. To truly understand this ancient marathon, you have to look back even further, around 2 million years ago. Your earliest ancestors still looked very different. You were covered in thick, dark fur, swinging safely in the cool shade of dense African forests. The sun was rarely a direct, burning threat. But the climate was shifting rapidly. The massive, protective forests began to dry up and shrink, giving way to endless oceans of tall, golden grass. Suddenly, your safe haven was gone. You were forced to step out of the shadows and directly into the relentless, baking heat of the open savanna. Out here, your thick fur coat became a lethal trap. Every time you tried to scavenge for food, the scorching temperature threatened to boil you alive. If you tried to sprint away from a predator while wearing that heavy fur, your brain would quickly overheat, leading to dizziness and a fatal collapse. You had a desperate evolutionary choice to make. Either retreat into the remaining trees and starve, or adapt to the brutal reality of the sun. Over thousands of generations, your body did something completely radical. You began to shed your protective fur, slowly exposing your bare, fragile skin to the world. You became the naked ape. It seemed like a terrible downgrade at first. You had no armor, no natural camouflage, and you felt the chilling night wind. But shedding that fur was just the first phase of nature's master plan. Exposing your skin allowed for a revolutionary biological upgrade to take place. Millions of tiny eccrine glands began to blanket your entire body. While other animals had a few glands on their paws, you were covered in them. Your body transformed into a highly efficient, walking air conditioning unit. The moment your internal temperature spiked, these glands pumped out salty water to cool the surface. This meant you no longer had to stop and pant in the shade like a desperate dog. You could breathe freely while your skin handled the heat. As long as you had access to water, you could walk under the deadly midday sun for hours without ever suffering from a fatal heat stroke. You were no longer trapped by the temperature, and armed with this incredible biological cooling system, you were finally ready to begin the ultimate hunt. You begin to jog. The sun is at its highest, baking the earth below. This is the exact time when every other predator is asleep. Miles away, your target is resting. A large antelope, built purely for explosive, lightning-fast speed, is hiding in the limited shade of a lone acacia tree. It hears your approaching footsteps and instantly panics. In a matter of seconds, the animal bounds away, leaving you in a cloud of thick dust. You don't sprint after it. You don't waste your energy. You just maintain a steady, relentless jogging pace, following the fresh tracks in the dirt. The antelope runs for a few minutes, puts a huge distance between you, and finds another tree to rest under, thinking it is completely safe. But 10 minutes later, you appear over the horizon. You haven't stopped. The antelope's heart pounds in its chest as it is forced into the sun again. This is persistence hunting. You are not trying to outrun the animal in a fair race. You are using the brutal climate as your invisible weapon. The blistering heat is bouncing off the savanna floor. Your skin is dripping with sweat, actively cooling your core while your muscles work with perfect efficiency. Meanwhile, the antelope is trapped inside its own fur. Cannot sweat like you do. Its only way to dump heat is to stop and pant. But you never give it the chance to stop. Every time it tries to catch its breath, your terrifying silhouette appears right behind it again. Hour 1 turns into hour 2. Your breathing is a steady, rhythmic cycle. You are a biological machine designed to endure the absolute extreme. The animal is now in deep distress. Its heavy panting cannot keep up with the rising internal heat. Its blood is literally starting to boil. For the antelope, this isn't just a physical chase. It is a psychological nightmare. You are a slow monster that simply refuses to go away. You follow the broken branches and the disturbed dirt. Your tracking skills are sharp, guided by a brain that evolved to predict the animal's next move. The distance between you is finally closing. The prey is staggering, its muscles failing, completely blinded by the suffocating heat trapped inside its own body. The antelope cannot take another step. Its core temperature has reached a critical, fatal limit. It is completely paralyzed by the intense, suffocating heat. You don't have to engage in a dangerous, bloody wrestling match. You don't risk getting gored by its horns or crushed by its massive weight. You simply walk up to the exhausted creature and finish the hunt effortlessly. The invisible weapon of the climate has already done the heavy lifting. This is the ultimate evolutionary twist. You did not kill this faster, stronger animal with brute force or overwhelming physical muscle power. You used sweat. You literally boiled its brain from the inside out. By refusing to stop moving, you forced its internal temperature beyond the point of biological survival. According to Harvard paleoanthropologist Daniel Lieberman, this specific strategy, known as persistence hunting, played a massive role in our early evolutionary success. Lieberman's research shows that human bodies are uniquely adapted to run long distances in hot conditions, far better than almost any other mammal on Earth. And this is not just an ancient theory. Modern hunter-gatherers, like the San people of the Kalahari Desert, still practice this exact method today. They will track and chase an antelope for hours under the blistering sun, running until the animal finally collapses from pure, unadulterated heatstroke. It is a sacred, brutal, and deeply biological ritual of endurance. It proves that the human body is an absolute masterpiece of thermal engineering. The sweat you wipe off your forehead at the gym today is the exact same mechanism that made your ancestors the kings of the savannah. No traditional biology textbook will ever teach you this incredible truth about your own body. A PTO legend does every single week. You are not a weak, hairless ape. You are the descendant of the most relentless, terrifying pursuit predators this planet has ever seen. But how exactly did our bodies achieve this? Sweating is just one part of the equation. We need to look deeper into your anatomy. To become the ultimate long-distance runner, nature had to completely redesign your skeleton from the ground up, starting with your legs and your spine. Look at your Achilles tendon, the thickest and strongest tendon in your body. It acts like a massive biological rubber band whenever you start to run. Every time your foot strikes the ground, this tendon stretches, stores kinetic energy, and violently bounces you forward into the next stride completely for free. Chimpanzees and gorillas barely have an Achilles tendon at all. They are built for explosive climbing in forests, not for bouncing across a flat, burning savanna. Now move up the body to your gluteus maximus, your butt muscles. These are absolutely the largest and most powerful muscles in your entire physical structure. If you are just walking around, your glutes barely do any work. But the exact moment you break into a run, they fire up like massive engines. They act to stabilize your entire upper body, preventing your torso from pitching forward and falling flat on your face with every heavy foot strike. And there is one more hidden secret: the nuchal ligament in the back of your neck, a spring-loaded rubber cable directly connecting your head to your spine. If you didn't possess this elastic band, your heavy, massive head would wildly snap back and forth with every single jogging step you take. Watch an animal without it run, and its head bobs chaotically. Watch a human run, and the eyes remain perfectly, terrifyingly locked on the distant horizon. Your Achilles bounces you forward, your glutes keep you upright, and your neck ligament keeps your vision laser-focused. It is pure, terrifying mechanical perfection. Even the arches of your feet evolved into specialized springs, absorbing the brutal shock of millions of impacts over a 30-mile pursuit across rocky terrain. Your toes became short and stubby. Long ape toes were incredible for grabbing tree branches, but they would easily snap under the extreme pressure of marathon running. Most running mammals are biologically restricted to one breath per stride. Their chest violently compresses when they gallop, forcing a completely rigid, inflexible breathing rhythm. Standing upright broke that limitation. You can easily take a breath over 2 steps, 3 steps, or pant freely, completely decoupling your lungs from your running legs. You are not a weak animal. You are a highly calibrated, bouncy, sweat-drenched marathon machine built to relentlessly chase down the fastest beasts on Earth. But then, everything changed. After 300,000 years of relentless forward motion, you stopped. You built walls, invented chairs, and parked this magnificent biological machine at a desk. Today, you sit for 8 to 10 hours a day staring at a glowing screen. Your massive glutes flatten. Your powerful Achilles tendon literally stiffens. Your body aches not from exertion, but from absolute stagnation. Your spine, designed for dynamic shock absorption, curves and compresses under the crushing weight of stillness. It is exactly like owning a high-performance sports car engine and keeping it permanently locked inside a tiny garage. Eventually, the powerful engine begins to rust. This is the evolutionary mismatch. Your brain and body expect a daily marathon just to survive, but modern convenience has completely stripped that away. When you don't move, your brain chemically punishes you. It withholds the endorphins and dopamine that were supposed to reward you for successfully hunting prey. That unexplainable lethargy, that lingering anxiety, that feeling of being trapped inside your own skin, it is just your ancient nervous system screaming at you to run. So we invented the modern gym. We bought treadmills and paid money to run in place inside air-conditioned rooms, desperately trying to simulate the savannah. It is a beautiful, tragic irony. You are a persistence hunter forced to schedule 30 minutes of artificial survival into your digital calendar just to feel normal. On the outside, you are an office worker dressed in modern clothes. But underneath your skin, the ancient code of the persistence hunter is still fully active. Your millions of sweat glands are waiting. Your nuchal ligament is waiting. Your glutes are waiting for the biological signal to fire up and chase the horizon. Take a deep breath right now. Feel the oxygen expand your lungs. That is the exact same breathing rhythm that outlasted mammoths and outran the fastest predators. When you finally tie your shoes to go for a jog, the first mile feels like suffocating torture because your brain thinks you are wasting precious calories. But if you push past that initial barrier, something magical happens. The runner's high kicks in. The ancient biological reward system completely takes over your mind. You suddenly feel light, powerful, and deeply connected to the earth. You are no longer just exercising. You are remembering exactly who you are. But eventually, the run ends. You return to your tiny modern box, sit back down at your desk, and the ancient engine is forced to idle again. Have you ever felt your legs bouncing uncontrollably under your desk? That restless energy is your nervous system begging to be used. It is choking on stillness. And it gets worse. You consume a massive amount of high-calorie food, exactly as your ancient instincts demand to prepare for a brutal, exhausting hunt. But the hunt never happens. So your body diligently packs all that energy into fat cells, completely terrified that a deadly ice age winter is coming. This profound physical stagnation begins to rot your mind. Your brain interprets this total lack of movement as a sign of failure, isolation, and imminent death. We often try to cure this modern depression with pills or endless scrolling, desperately seeking cheap dopamine hits to numb the screaming void inside our chests. It is like trying to treat a wild, powerful predator by putting a leash on it and pretending it is just a harmless indoor house cat. So, how do you escape this invisible cage? You obviously cannot drop your job, abandon civilization, and move to the African savanna to chase down antelopes. But you can trick your primitive brain. You can actively honor the evolutionary masterpiece that you live inside, simply by giving it what it craves most. Movement. It does not require a grueling marathon. Just standing up, stretching your tight muscles, and taking a brisk walk fundamentally resets your ancient chemical balance. When you walk, your lungs expand, your blood pumps faster, and that deeply buried hunter code registers a critical message. You are successfully moving forward. The moment you step outside and feel the sun on your skin, your brain breathes a massive sigh of relief. The simulated famine and failure are over. The heavy metal safe in your mind finally clicks open. A steady, rewarding stream of natural dopamine flows through your veins, washing away the stagnant anxiety. The suffocating walls of your modern enclosure begin to visually dissolve. You remember that your body was never built to be parked in a static prison. You are a dynamic, living monument to human survival. Every single step you take is a tribute to the millions of ancestors who ran before you. So the next time you feel the overwhelming urge to pace around a room or aggressively shake your leg, do not ignore it. It is not a modern psychological defect. It is the brilliant echo of a 300,000-year-old survival mechanism demanding to be set free. You are not running just to lose a few pounds or close some digital rings on a smartwatch. You are performing an ancient ritual. Every single drop of sweat is a biological tribute to the naked, vulnerable apes who conquered a hostile planet not with claws, but with endurance. Always remember, your body isn't broken, and your mind isn't malfunctioning. They are simply remembering a wild world that no longer exists today. We have built a modern world of total convenience, but we are still driving the exact same high-performance persistence hunting engines inside. The physical discomfort you feel at the gym is just the friction between your ancient biology and your incredibly stagnant modern lifestyle. So embrace the exhaustion. Feel the heat radiating from your skin, and let the ancient dopamine completely flood your exhausted brain. Sweat pours down your face, your muscles burn, and you gasp for air as you push through a simple morning jog. But something has completely changed. It no longer feels like absolute torture. It feels like absolute terrifying power. You are the ultimate apex predator of physical endurance. You are a walking, breathing masterpiece of thermal engineering, perfectly capable of outlasting any other mammal on the face of the earth. Your body isn't broken. It's just remembering 300,000 years of history, and that incredible human story is far from over. Hit subscribe to APE2 Legend and join us every single week as we uncover the survival secrets buried deep inside your DNA. From ape to legend, that is the exact story of every human alive today. We will see you next week on the savannah.